Hello everybody, it's the Vertical Sandwich. Welcome back to Book Reviews. So this week we're doing the second half of E.A.R.T.H.C.L.A.N, which is David Brin's novel, The Uplift War. So in the previous novel, a ship of Neo-Dolphins is hiding out from, you watch the previous review, from Galactics, and all that resolves. So the Uplift War, which won the Hugo Award in 1985, continues. Meanwhile, in another part of the galaxy, the avian Gubru have laid siege to a Terran colony, the planet E.A.R.T.H.C.L.A.N. The Galactic's intent to hold the world's humans hostage in exchange for information about the Streaker, which is the dolphin ship, and to gain whatever profit they can. Only the Neo-Chimps, one human soldier, and a pair of friendly aliens can fight the Gubru and try to ensure a future for E.A.R.T.H.C.L.A.N. So the idea of this is that one of the alien species, while this battle is raging to get a hold of the dolphin ship, takes an Earth planet hostage. So this happens during the events of Startide Rising. And that planet has no dolphins on it because of the content of its oceans. So it's all chimps and people. Now, what happens is this alien race instantly, this alien race instantly overwhelms humans and takes the entire planet hostage. So the entire book is about kind of the siege of this planet, and then this bird-like alien race that is preparing for a molt. Like that they're asexual until they like do a triad molting to produce policy and children. It's very strange. Very, very strange. And so the story is told from the point of view of this one human who gets away. The daughter of an ambassador who he's protecting, and neo-chimpanzees. Specifically one neo-chimpanzee who is this guy's good friend and is a member of kind of the defense force of this planet. Now, David Brin is a master of believable aliens. Clearly a thing he is. Like, you can't read these books and not know that. Now, I'm going to read part of chapter 35. It's called Robert. It's about the human who is in hiding. He has figured out that the alien technology that is attacking them focuses on their electronics and their clothing, like their manufactured items. The forest animals stopped and listened, all senses aquiver. A growing rustle and rumble of footfalls made them nervous. Without exception, they scuttled for cover and watched them hiding as a tall beast ran past them, leaping from boulder to log to soft forest loam. They had begun to get used to the smaller two-legged variety, and to the much larger kind that chuffed and shambled along on three limbs as often as two. Those, at least, were hairy and smelled like animals. This one, though, was different. It ran but did not hunt. It was chaste, yet it did not try to lose its pursuers. It was warm-blooded, yet when it rested it lay in the open noon sunshine, where only animals stricken with madness normally ventured. The little native creatures did not connect the running thing with the kind that flew above or about in tangy-smelling metal and plastic, for that type had always made much noise and reeked of these things. This one ran unclothed. Captain, stop! Robert hopped one rock farther up the tumbled boulder scree. He leaned against another to catch his breath and looked back down at his pursuer. Getting tired, Benjamin? The chim officer panted, stooping over with both hands on his knees. Farther downslope, the rest of the search party lay strung out, some flat on their backs, barely able to move. Robert smiled. They must have thought it would be easy to catch him. After all, chims were at home in a forest, and just one of them, even a female, would be strong enough to grab him and keep him immobile for the rest to bundle home. But Robert had planned this. He had kept to open ground and played the chase to take advantage of his long stride. Captain an Eagle! Benjamin tried again, catching his breath. He looked up and took a step forward. "Captain, please, you're not well." "I feel fine," Robert announced, lying just a little. Actually, his legs shivered with the beginning of a cramp. His lungs burned and his right arm itched all over from where he had chipped and peeled his castaway. And then there were his bare feet. "Parse it logically, Benjamin," he said. "Demonstrate to me that I am ill, and just maybe I'll accompany you back to those smelly caves." Benjamin blinked up at him. Then he shrugged, obviously willing to clutch at any straw. Robert had proven they could not run him down. Perhaps logic might work. "Well, sir," Benjamin licked his lips, "first off, there's the fact that you aren't wearing any clothes." Robert nodded. "Good. Go for the direct. I'll even posit for now that the simplest, most parsimonious explanation for my nudity is that I've gone bonkers. I reserve the right to offer an alternate theory, though." The chimp shivered as he saw Robert smile. Robert could not help sympathizing with Benjamin. For the chimp's point of view, this was a tragedy in progress, and there was nothing he could do to prevent it. "Continue, please," Robert urged. "Very well," Benjamin sighed. "Second, you are running away from chimps under your own command. A patron afraid of his own loyal clients cannot be in complete control of himself." Robert nodded. "Clients who would throw this patron into a straitjacket and dope him full of happy juice first chance they got? No good, Ben, if you accept my premise that I have reasons for what I'm doing, then it only follows that I try to keep you guys from dragging me back." Benjamin took a step closer. Robert casually retreated one boulder higher. "Your reason could be a false one," Benjamin ventured. "A neurosis defends itself by coming up with rationalizations to explain away bizarre behavior. The sick person actually believes." "Good point," Robert agreed cheerfully. "I'll accept for later discussion the possibility that my reasons are actually rationalizations by an unbalanced mind. Will you, in exchange, entertain the possibility that they might be valid?" Benjamin's lip curled back. "You're violating orders being out here." Like, just... Oh, so good. So good. Again, I don't think the Uplift War is as strong as Startide Rising. However, David Brin does amazingly giving you unique and odd ideas and making them seem rational and believable. The idea of neo-chimpanzees, and he explores in here kind of the idea of chimpanzees revering Dian Fossey, and like there's a Mount Fossey on this planet. They and the idea of how chimps feel about human beings, and then the idea of chimp sexuality, which is very interesting, and about why humans like, breasts and wide hips, and like chimps wouldn't like that particularly. Chimps really like exposed rear ends and things like that. And you think like that's a crazy thing to put in a science fiction novel, but it's not an unfounded idea if what you've done is imbued a species with intelligence. Humans have relics in our socialization from when we weren't a technological society, right? We do. And so what those would look like to dolphins and chimps is an interesting thought experiment. And David Brin just gives you his possible answer, and it seems right. He does a great job of seeming right about those things. That, like, the idea of what a bar focusing on chimps would look like. And there's one in here, I think it's called the Ape's Grape. Like, it's so fun. It's just so fun to read these books. Because it's the kind of thing where you describe what you're reading to somebody and they're like, "Oh, that sounds really bizarre." And you're like, "Yeah, but not so much." Like, not so much. And that's a magical thing for David Brin to have done. To just take these premises that are way out in left field. I mean, they're They're so far off the rails you can't even see the train anymore when it passes. And like take those and lay them out in a way where you go, yeah, God, I could see that. And you're like, we're talking about army officers who are genetically altered, intelligent, socialized chimpanzees. That's what we're talking about. Or dolphins who have to use robots called spiders to walk on land. And you just go like, yeah, no, sure. So I would strongly suggest, and again, he does the same chapter breakdown in this that he did that I talked about in Startide Rising, where every chapter is brief and is about a different character or a different situation, so that the flow of the book, even though the book is 450 pages, almost 500 pages, the flow is very quick. Like, you really can move through these books very quickly, and they're an absolute joy to read. I really love David Brin's work. If you're out there, David Brin, know that I appreciated what you did, and I actually, I think it's great, because I did check, and he's running around somewhere. I mean, I didn't check where he is right now, but he is still alive, so. Yeah, so I would definitely suggest the E.A.R.T.H.C.L.A.N book if you can. I mean, it's fine if you can get this. If you get the novel separately, I would read the prequel to these two, or the first book in the trilogy. I didn't know it existed when I started reading these, otherwise I would have. Because I would kind of like to know I would have liked to have read the earlier stories of these Neo-Dolphins from the first novel that we talked about. So, the Hugo Award winner in 1985, well, this is both Hugo Award winners from 84 and 85. And strongly suggest them. They're available wherever books about dolphins in space are sold, or on the internet where you can get anything you would ever want. Unless it's an ideal Muppet, because those things are rare. Not that I've looked. I look all the time. Anyway, so yes, strongly suggest. Thank you for watching this book review, and when we come back next week, I believe we will be doing The Wind-Up Girl, which is my book I didn't like from this session. So, I will see you guys for that. Bye, everybody.